we are here from Mediavine. If you don't know what we do, the long version is we provide full-service ad management for content creators. And the short version is we put ads on blogs.
The money.
Yes, we make you dollar bills. So we put ads on blogs. We work for over 4,300 content creators in all different niches across the lifestyle spectrum, and that means everything from food, fashion,
DIY, travel, personal finance.
something that could be like a travel blog about what you do with your dachshund, which is called You Did What With Your Wiener. We also have that blog at Mediavine. So yes, for real, try to pitch that. Yeah, you did what with your wiener. Okay, wanted to say it twice, because once is never enough.
It wasn't weird enough the first time.
No, it wasn't weird enough the first time, but let's just step into it and make it weirder. So today we're gonna talk to you about how to create SEO focused content for brands and earn maximum revenue.
Absolutely. So we're actually going to give you some really simple SEO tricks that you can use on your most popular posts. You can use these on new posts that you're creating, and they're going to help make you more attractive to brands. So as we're going to go through, we're going to talk about 5 main things of what you can do, and then we'll also talk about why you should do that and why it's attractive to brands. And just as a kind of a reminder, as we're looking at this whole strategy, that we always talk about working with brands in the context of evergreen content. So sometimes you actually have to have that conversation with a brand. They're just like, oh, hey, I just want you to talk about my product. And you're like, okay, but how? How are we going to talk about your product? I can't just put up a post that's like, I love whatever, and expect that people are going to be like, yes, I want to read that. How are you talking about a brand in a way that's going to have that post be something that's really going to live forever on your site and not just die off after 30 days? So that's really how we're looking at all of these tricks and tips that we're going to talk about.
And when we talk about creating content, I'm not just talking about creating new content. How many people in here, influencers, have at least a year of content on their sites? Yes, if you don't, if you have 6 months, great. So you have content. You already have a wealth of content on your site. And so what we talk about when we talk about optimizing that existing content is I think that should be as much of a part of your publishing strategy as creating new content. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. You already have stuff that's living on your site that you can go back through 1 to 2 days a week, optimize it, and have it perform much better for you than it currently is. So we're talking about that as well. How to make the most of what you got.
Optimizing your content.
Long content is king, like this dog
As
shows
is that picture.
Yeah, that picture is tops. So you want to create longer content. And how many people have heard that before and have been like, yeah, obviously I want to. So when we say write at least 300 to 500 words, that's for many different reasons. One of them being you want to create something obviously that is engaging and is going to bring your audience in and keep them there. Part of that is because you want to increase their duration on your site and you don't want a high bounce rate. So if you're creating longer content that's gripping them from the beginning, keeping them engaged through the body with great images, with video, all of the things that you can add to your content to make it better, then keeping them around and linking to other things, which we're going to talk more about. Images are huge. Vary the sizes, you guys. Space them throughout the post. Don't put 7 images at the very end of your post. Put them all throughout. Work them in organically through your content as you go through. Focus on keeping people engaged. Mix the personal stories with the knowledge that you have as an influencer and as an expert. Okay, and then we have something we call most valuable content. That is your recipe if you're a food blogger. That is your packing list if you're a travel blogger, your capsule wardrobe list, your directions, if you're a how-to blogger, whatever it is that is the sweet stuff that they're coming to that some people, has anyone been reading lately on Facebook that people are complaining that food bloggers talk too much before they get to the recipe? Right. Zip it first. Second, you want to make them scroll to get to that most valuable content. So put that down at the bottom, right? Make them at least have to scroll through some of your stuff.
It's really hard to scroll, guys.
My finger hurts real bad. My
Like
scroll
3
finger.
seconds.
It's painful.
My goodness.
Yeah. So how do you lengthen your content? It's not just about writing more words. okay?
Which if you're not loving the writing thing is great news.
Yes, positive news for those who are like,
Good.
but I already wrote all the words and there were only 150 of them. That's fine. That happens. Sometimes there are some posts that you just don't have
Some posts are going to be shorter.
the meat for it, and that's okay. So if you're going to increase your font size and your line height, that's longer scroll time, guys. And all you had to do was just change your settings, right? Anyone in here who is a trained writer or did writing in high school, college, whatever, this ain't that on our internets. This is not that thing because we live in a mobile first world now, right? How many people in here have at least 65% of their audiences consuming their content on mobile? Who in here loves reading really long walls of text when they're on the train? Just scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. It kind of makes you nauseated. So what we do to combat that is we break up our paragraphs, break them up. 1 to 3 sentence paragraphs. It goes against every fiber of your being as an English person, as a writer, as a if you wrote in newspaper journalism, whatever it is that you have, it hurts. But you got to do it, right? Break up those paragraphs. Put tall pinnable images in your posts. Add more images. Add video. As an ad company, I cannot express to you the value right now of producing video. Even if it's going to something like an Animoto and doing a greatest hits of your top 5 posts where you're not even on camera. Even if it's that, get video on your site. We cannot get enough inventory for our advertisers to buy pre-roll. We can't get it out of 4,300 publishers. Video is king right now, okay? Write more words, and then pull your reader feedback into your posts. What do I mean? Okay, so you're getting comments from people that are saying, I want, it's a pecan pie recipe. Pecan, I'm from Oklahoma, fine. Pecan pie recipe, and someone posts and says, I'm not necessarily a big fan of pecans, but what about cashews, if you want to call them that. We'll just go with new names for nuts this morning. So if someone says that they want that, great, incorporate that into your post. You got great feedback, go back up into your post, write what are the alternative nuts that you can use in this recipe? Include that in. What if I don't drink bourbon? What if it's bourbon pecan pie and I don't drink bourbon? What can I do? Anticipate those questions and answer them within the body of your post. Because people aren't necessarily reading the comments, but if you can, and that's just adding more body, more scroll time, more duration on your site.
Absolutely, absolutely. So why are we lengthening our content? Well, obviously, it makes it easy to read, which is, as we're talking about breaking up paragraphs, as we're talking about making your fonts bigger and your line spacing bigger, and people click away when content is hard to read. When I go to a site and it's got a little teeny tiny font and big old walls of text, and I'm on the train and I'm tired and it's been a long day and I go away. Yeah. Brands do that too. We're brand reps, having actually both been brand reps. We can both say that brands do that stuff too. They go to a site, the content's hard to read, they're like, this is stupid, goodbye. And they go back and they find somebody else. So keep making things easy to read, not just for your readers, but also for the brands. Because guess what? I got a secret.
Ooh, secrets.
Brand reps are people too.
Yeah.
So when brand reps are not just
true.
Scary monsters, we're like, this is hard to read. It's probably hard to read for other people. So maybe I want to find something that's easier to read so that when people are seeing this, they're not associating my brand with something that's hard to read. Mm-hmm. And long content is also demonstrating your ability to engage your readers. What do brands really want? They want engaged audiences who are going to actually listen to your recommendations. They don't want to just have you slap up their name and have no one ever see it. They're paying you for a reason, and that's so that their brand can be seen. When you are talking to a brand and you're giving them your media kit and you're talking about your readership and your social media following and how engaged they are, one of the things that you can share is your average time on page. So if you've got that nice long content and you're keeping your readers on that page for a nice long amount of time and they're really engaging in that content, share that. Share that with a brand and say, I've got a 4.5 minute average time on page on my site so that they know, oh my gosh, look at how long readers are engaging with their content. They must really love reading that content and, you know, making their recipes and making their crafts and doing all of those things. So that's just another, it's just another stat that you can give a brand to talk to them about.
So going back to what we were talking about, answering the questions in your posts, be a little bit of Google. Go be Googs. If you're gonna write about a certain topic, so go back and think about the questions that people are going to ask about whatever it is that you're writing about, okay? Think about what the reader wants from you, how you can help the reader, and then what might they Google after they read it. So anticipate, think ahead, think about what you want them to stay on your site. Don't give them a reason to leave. Answer those questions that they're going to have about your how to organize a closet. Don't make them have to go to another site to answer their questions. Keep them on your site by anticipating those questions and addressing them in each of your posts, right?
Again, why? Why do brands care? Brands want to be connected with quality content. Again, they don't want you just slapping up their brand name and calling it a day. They want to know that the content that they're paying for is going to be really high quality. Really, honestly, brand reps care. There are some that care about size more than anything, but they are learning that size is not everything.
True.
That we're looking at, again, engagement, the quality of that content, because if they're going to say they're going to reshare it on their social media, they want it to be something good that they're sharing. And keep readers on your post so that they're finding the answers from that brand and not from a brand's competitor. So let's say that you are doing a closet organization post and you're working with a company that makes closet organizing systems, and there's maybe a common question that pops up, and you can answer that question in your post instead of the reader then going back, Googling that question, and then finding that maybe another competing closet organizing system has that answer. And then maybe in that search, they've decided, oh, well, they had the answer, so maybe I'll just buy their product. Answer those questions. Keep them engaging with that brand so that then they're not seeking out that answer elsewhere. And if you're curious, okay, how can I add some content to this post? How can I answer questions? Ask the brand rep. Say, hey, you know, are there a lot of frequently asked questions that you guys get? Is there sort of a pain point that you guys are trying to teach audiences about with regards to your product? Ask them those questions. They might not have anything specific in mind, but maybe they'll say, oh yeah, actually, this is a common question that we get. And then, you know, here's what our general answer is, and then you can take that and you can work that into the content within your post.
Find out their pain points. What are the problems you've been having with this particular product, and how can I help you solve them? Be a problem solver for that brand. And how can you use your post to solve the problem for your reader? If you address it from that, you're going to be able to have multiple ways of incorporating more content into your work, right? Okay, so how can we increase duration on site? You've got people that are coming to you. How many people have more people coming from Instagram or Pinterest or whatever, and they're bouncing in and out quickly with your content? Right.
Yeah.
Okay, how can we increase that duration on the site? Because we know that those people are looky-loos and they're just coming in for that one particular piece. But our mission for those people is to do what we can do to increase and keep them on our site as long as possible, right? The main thing you can do, link to yourself, right? Related content. We have a rule, I run the blog at Mediavine, and we have a rule that we do at least 2 to 3 links to ourselves per blog post. And that's minimal. 2 to 3 links to ourselves. Keep people clicking around on your site. And please don't just do it in a related content section at the very end, because they may not get there. Organically work those links in and around your full post, right? Link to your friends as well, okay? Just be a good internet citizen. Be kind. At first, be kind. If there's a post that works, go ahead and link to it. Giving the most comprehensive post that you write for your reader. And then link on the keyword. Please link on the keyword, you guys, on that. Don't link on that.
Click here.
Or this.
No.
Or here. Yeah, link on, you might, if we're writing that closet post and you want to read about the day that you organized your shoe collection, You might say, I also have some great tips on organizing my shoe collection. That's the hyperlink. Not click to read that post here. You don't need to write that. This is just the reason why, does anyone know why we would say to do that? SEO, right, Google. Googs, we do everything for Googs. They are going to be able to know what that link is about and be able to give more instructional, more link juice to their people. You're establishing yourself as an expert, which is what Google wants you to do.
Absolutely. So here's the thing. Increasing your time on site might not seem like a necessarily directly brand related thing because again, time on site does not necessarily mean time on that blog post that you're paying for. But again, we're talking about evergreen brand content, right? So we're talking about you're creating content that then you are going to be linking to in the future because it's not just useful for the brand, it's useful for you. You know, you're talking about the closet organizing system, you're talking about the pecan bourbon pie. I'm from Illinois, so I say pecan. And so we're talking about these things that you are probably going to be linking around to in the future. And if the brand sees that in your existing posts that you're linking around to yourself and you're proposing this evergreen post, this pecan bourbon pie that you're probably going to want to link to every Thanksgiving, every holiday season, they're going to know that there's a good likelihood that you're going to be linking to that brand content sometime in the future. Maybe not specifically because you're like, oh, hey, I used Nielsen Massey Vanilla in this pecan bourbon pie, but that doesn't matter. They just want to see that you're going to get eyeballs back on that post sometime in the future. So it's just a nice thing to kind of show brands to say, you know, hey, it's not that I slap this post up and then I let it die. This is something that's important for me because people are coming to it. I'm getting that ad revenue, right? But they're going to say, oh, okay, you're linking around and my content is probably going to be seen in the future as well.
And why not tell the brand about your robust interlinking strategies?
Absolutely.
That you do with all your posts when you're pitching yourself? Why not inform them that within each post I make it a priority to link around to my own content? I have at least 5 home reorganization posts that already exist on my site. It would be an excellent fit, and you go back through. I think that's a huge selling point and something you will be linked to on. Not only will I be creating original content for you, original photos, all of that jazz for this post, the video, whatever it is that you guys agree on in your scope of work, your deliverables, but I also can link back in this incredibly popular post that I have, which goes viral every spring cleaning season, about how I sorted through my sweaters. Yep. It's a selling point. Okay, so this is something we talk about all the time at Mediavine because our CEO is obsessed with it, site speed and why it matters.
Not even low-key obsessed, high-key obsessed.
He's not cash about it. It's serious. So site speed, let's talk about it. Why does site speed matter? Okay, well, he would say site speed it's not one thing that matters, it's the only thing that matters. Why would we say that? You probably agree with it too. You're on the train. You click on a site, it does not load. You scroll through and it's blank. How long do you wait before you click the back button and you go to the next Google response?
You're not waiting long.
You don't wait. Brands don't either. No, if your site is slow, you're going to have an infinitely harder time trying to pitch anyone because brands are looking you up on their phones on the trains. They do that. Or they're researching to see how your site looks on mobile too, FYI. If you're never looking at what your site looks like on mobile, the brand is, because they know that that's where people are consuming your content, right? So you have to pay attention to that. Okay, fast content makes people happy. This is just the truth. We are a very split-second society these days, and we don't wait. So if I'm waiting for you, I've already clicked the back button and gone to the next Google response. Harsh, but true. So Google Page Speed Insights, this is where we recommend people go to test their site speed. If you haven't tested your site speed recently, Google Page Speed Insights. Why do we say Google Page Speed Insights? Well, here's why. Because when people look at site speed, what are they looking at? The first page view. That's what they care about, your first screen view. They don't care if the content at the bottom of the screen is loading. No one cares if you're...
They're not looking at that yet.
They're not, because they're not there. What Google PageSpeed Insights measures is the time it takes for all your content to load in the first screen view. So they're measuring what matters. So when you go to some of these other page speed tests, they're measuring things that your viewer does not care about. So then you're getting down a rabbit hole of, I have to fix no, fix the things that people care about. And frankly, who doesn't want to rank #1 on Google? We all do. That's a thing. Let's do what makes Google happy, right? So the goal minimally is an 80 out of 100 for site speed. And that's both mobile and desktop. Optimize your images. This is one of the hugest things that you can do to increase your site speed. We recommend Short Pixel and Imagify, or Imagify. I don't really know. I've never met anyone that works there.
Cashews, it's fine.
Cashews, whatever happens. And then turn off Gravatar. Does anyone in here still have Gravatar? Okay, it's fine. I'm not going to shame anyone that has Gravatar. Except shame, you have Gravatar. I'm not. What happens is that is what causes the people's headshots to render when they make comments on your blog. Those are additional images every time it happens.
You don't really need those.
And it's tanking your site speed. It's a very simple thing just to switch off, and I guarantee you'll see a growth in your site speed instantly. If you want to find out about your plugins that might be slowing you down, visit that URL. It's a third-party audit tool, okay? tools.mediavine.com/tools/third_party. You can find out if your plugins are running synchronously or asynchronously. Synchronously loaded plugins means that everyone is trying to get on the highway in the same lane at the same time.
It's basically a Chicago highway.
It is, basically. Yes. It's Lakeshore at 4:30 on Friday.
Here.
Yeah. Everyone is trying to cram into one lane and load at the same time, and it means that things will stop loading. So if your ads are loaded synchronously with your content, if your ad is loading, it will stop everything from loading behind it. You want things that are loaded asynchronously, meaning your content can load and then the ads can load. That's what we do at Mediavine, but it's just a general practice to check on this third-party tool to find out about your plugins and find out if they're asynchronous, if they're stopping your content from loading, okay? And then finally, if you want a fast site, don't rebrand. Please don't rebrand. Change your theme, change your framework, change your pictures, change your layout, change any of those things. But please don't change your fundamental site, because what you are basically doing is just throwing away your link juice that you've built from all the years. You may hate and be embarrassed by some of your posts, but you have established an authority with Google. And if you throw all that away by changing your URL, you're literally throwing away all of those years of all of the content, right?
And you're adding extra redirects, which is not great.
Right, you're slowing yourself down. That would be like saying that one night in 2005 when I went to that party and I wore that outfit and it was hideous, and I still had a great time at the party. So I'm not going to throw away all the pictures from that party just because I'm embarrassed of the outfit that I wore now in 2019. That was a strange metaphor. But don't throw away the hard work that you've established from all your years, okay?
So again, fast content makes readers happy, fast content makes your brands happy. Just like your easy to read content, brands are going to click away from slow to load content, because again, brand reps are people too. Also, Google loves fast content. So again, if you have nice, quick content, they're going to love you a little bit more, and you're going to be more likely to show up at the top of that search. Here's the thing for brands. Obviously, you have to use no-follow links in your sponsored content. That's a non-negotiable. You just do it. If you ever have a brand that tries to talk you out of it, you say bye-bye, and you see them to the door, because they're trying to get you to do something skeevy.
It's the law.
It's
just it.
We're just not going to do it. So they're not getting, because you're having to use no-follow links, they're not really getting that link juice from you. However, if you are showing up at the top of searches for whatever keywords you're using in that post, let's go back to our pecan bourbon pie, we are going to see that, okay, there's really a good likelihood that as a brand rep, I'm going to see my content showing up in those top 10 results in Google. And so, you know, when someone is searching for pecan bourbon pie, they're going to potentially, you know, they're probably going to click on this first, second, or third post. And there's a really good likelihood that they're going to see my brand messaging because I'm showing up in that way. So while they're not necessarily getting that direct link juice from you, that's going to be boosting their own website in that way, there's a lot of benefits to your post showing up high in Google search results that can be beneficial for the brand. And again, that's something else that you can talk to a brand about. You can say, like, look, I rank really high on, you know, a number of terms, and my site shows up high in a lot of Google search results. And that's something that you can, you know, use as you're pitching yourself and as you're talking to brands about why they should work with you.
And a lot of times I recommend too, if you know for a fact that you have posts that you've written that are non-sponsored content posts that you know are popular and are popular at certain times of year, go pitch a brand about adding them into those posts. You already know that it's going to get traffic. You already know that it's going to get eyeballs. You already know that it's going to be successful in April. Your deviled eggs are always successful, rank high during these months on Pinterest. Go pitch Hellman's mayonnaise. Reshoot the pictures. They know they've already got a sure thing. You might as well capitalize on the traffic that you already have there, right?
Come find us. Yeah, we'll be here all day. Come find us. Come find Christy if you have, and you do come up with any questions.
Thank you.
Thanks, ladies. That was super valuable.